Hello and welcome back, YouTubers. I'm Protomario, and it's a hot day, and there's some heat over at the Bungie forums as well. This is my third time attempting to record this because the people who mow the lawn kept coming around, so hopefully they're done. Anyways, there's two things I wanted to talk about. This week, Xur didn't sell a weapon, and the Bungie patch notes talking about the weapon fixes, balances, and things like that. Patch that's going to release right before the Tekken comes out. So let's get to it. First things first, let's talk about Xur, Agent of the Nine. The guy that comes to the tower with the tentacle face, who is real gross. Yeah, him. Anyways, he sells exotics, and in the entire time that Destiny's been out, he has always sold an exotic weapon. Well, this time, he didn't have a weapon. A lot of people were curious about that and lit the forums on fire, honestly. What ended up happening is that the Bungie executives, or whoever handles the Bungie handle on Twitter, they tweeted out that Xur wasn't cooperating. And, you know, when I saw that, I just instantly thought, you guys are trying to be hip and trending. I get it, it's so funny. You don't use official company talk. You're hip and with the youngsters, he's not being cooperative. Stuff like that really drives me nuts because he's just a program, okay? It's just a program. If you can't put a weapon in his inventory, that's fine. But as we've seen in the past, we know that Xur's inventory is automatic. People have found an exploit on the PlayStation side that allowed them to reset the date and get on to Xur's inventory and see his upcoming inventory. So we all know that it's automatic, okay? So that's not the issue. The thing is that he has never not sold a weapon in the entire time that he has come to the tower or the reef at times. He's never not had a weapon. I mean, he always does. So what ended up happening is that a lot of people are thinking that there's some kind of scandal, that Bungie didn't want to sell Gjallarhorn again, and that's absolutely true because there was a German user who took a picture of his TV. What ended up happening is he got into the game, he went to Xur, and he went to purchase Xur's items, and Gjallarhorn was in his inventory. He couldn't buy Gjallarhorn, and he was kicked out of the lobby, and when he reset it, he came back in, and Xur no longer had the Gallo. So, what ended up happening is a lot of people are coming up with conspiracy theories that Bungie doesn't want people getting Gjallarhorn before the nerf. So that segues into my next conversation. So I had to put a pause on my recording for a minute because that guy came around with a weed whacker. So sorry about that. Anyways, what I'm segueing into is the fact that Bungie had released these patch notes talking about a ton of nerfs. Now there's about 50% split when it comes down to the games in the forums. Some people want things nerfed. Like for example, I wouldn't mind if they removed the ticks off a Thorn or made it so it left 1% of health, you know, instead of total killing, because Thorn's OP. A lot of people use Thorn in Crucible, and it just ruins the game. It just boils it down to people using Thorn or Last Word or Hawkmoon or weapons like that. And I'm not saying you can't get kills with other weapons. There's no lying in that. It's just that it does boil it down to that, and it's kind of silly, you know? You have all these weapons, and everyone's just using Thorn, or the majority of people. So I'm in the camp that some weapons need nerfed. Like Last Word is a 3-shot kill. There are weapons out there that are 2-shot kill if you get lucky. There's a miniature Hawkmoon that can be made. And these things, they're not good. It's not good to have a Call of Duty style multiplayer game. If I wanted that, I would go play Call of Duty, and I don't play Call of Duty for that reason. I used to play Call of Duty, and I used to enjoy it, and I still do, but I just don't want that from this game. So that leaves a big split. Some people feel that a bunch of weapons need nerfed, and some people feel that no weapons need nerfed. Now there's a big camp of people who want Gjallarhorn nerfed or Gjallarhorn taken away because they don't have it. And everyone, you'll see it almost every other week, every other day even. People will talk about, oh, I'm a day one player, I still don't have Gjallarhorn, I'm wham, call me a wambulance, ooh. And it's just like, it's just a rocket launcher. It might be the best exotic rocket launcher in the game, but one, it's an exotic. It takes up your exotic slot, which means you won't be able to use your primary exotic or secondary exotic, and two, if you use it in PvP, usually you'll be crippling yourself, because if you don't get heavy, that means a whole nother good couple minutes that you have to wait until heavy comes around to possibly get it, and you're not going to be using your exotic, i.e. you won't be able to use Thorn against other Thorn users, or Last Word against other Thorn or Last Word users, which means you're crippling yourself if you're using your exotic position for that heavy. So a lot of these people, they get upset, they get irate, they want people to get rid of Gjallarhorn. Well, Bungie responded with a lot of this stuff. People complaining about Thorn, people complaining about auto rifles, and they put out an update saying that auto rifles are going to get buffed, and pretty much almost every other weapon are going to get nerfed and buffed in some way. The Gjallarhorn included. They're nerfing the Wolfpack rounds. I'm not really sure why. Now here's my number one concern here. Why are they nerfing PvE? Okay, if you don't know what PvE is, that's not between two people. That's against the computer, the opponent, the campaign, as it were. And my question is, why are you nerfing Gjallarhorn, the most powerful exotic rocket launcher in the game? I mean, there's Truth. Truth is really good for PvP and PvE, but why nerf Gjallarhorn? I really don't understand it. And the reason I don't understand it is because at this point in time in the game, the only challenge is in Prison of Elders 35. If you went and did Vault of Glass on normal, you would breeze through it if you're a 34. If you went and did Vault of Glass on hard, you would still not have too much of a problem if everyone knew what they were doing. And same with Crota 32. You have that advantage. You have the 2-level advantage over everything in the game except for Arena. And that's it. And even some of the arenas, like 32 Arena, you have the level 2 advantage. So it's not that difficult to do. The problem lies in the fact that a lot of people are just upset that they don't have Gjallarhorn. Now, I'm 10 out of 10 with the buffs coming to auto rifles, but they really just don't need to mess with a lot of this stuff, honestly. You don't need to take a good weapon and make it crap to match the rest of the crap weapons. You need to take a crap weapon and make it good to match the rest of the weapons. Again, Thorn shouldn't be a 3-shot kill. Last Word shouldn't be a 3-shot kill. It should be a little bit more. And you might argue with me, you might say this, that, or the other, but look at the state of PvP right now. Everyone and their mom uses Thorn or Last Word. And you might not be one of those people, but the majority of it is. They even put out in their update that almost everyone used Thorn when Iron Banner was here. And then the second place was Last Word. And those two weapons dominated. So you can argue it all you want, but that's how it is, and that's why they're doing this. But I'm still not understanding why PvP is getting nerfed at all. I don't understand why weapons are getting nerfed at all in PvP. It doesn't matter. You know, another big weapon that's getting nerfed is Black Hammer, and a lot of people are upset about that. And I've seen posts on the forum about people talking about, well, then people are just gonna have to get good and actually fight the boss instead of breezing through it in a couple seconds. No, the Black Hammer does not make you breeze through a boss in a couple seconds. It rewards people who are accurate. If you go to Sepix Prime, you can kill him in 30 seconds with one Black Hammer. That's not the issue. It's the fact that, are you going to be accurate enough to kill him in that amount of time? There are other bosses that are extremely hard to kill with Black Hammer. There's the Cabal Commander, Valis Tuarx. That is incredibly hard to get continuous headshots on because of the mobs and the ads that spawn in as well. It's, the Nexus is another one with the swirling shield. It's hard to keep that chain going. I mean, there are easier bosses to get it with, and there are harder bosses to get it with. But why are you messing with it? Why? No one cared about Black Hammer. Nobody was screaming, nerf this OP weapon. So it makes me wonder why they are messing with PvE. They're even nerfing shotguns by 10%. And that's not doing much, but it's enough. And they're nerfing shot package for whatever reason. Again, PvE aside, I don't understand why they're doing it on the PvE side. You know, PvP is a different story. Almost everyone runs shotgun. I've rarely ever see fusion rifles now since they did the nerf, and I think it would be okay to nerf shotguns in PvP a bit, because getting the one-shot kill from a good 500 feet away with a shotgun that has extreme range, it's kind of silly, man. I've been killed by shotgun users when I've been in the air, way high in the air, and it's just kind of silly. But that's my own personal opinion on that, and it's not everyone else's. But I rarely see snipers unless it's on a certain map. It's always blink shotgun runners with Thorn or Last Word, and whatever rocket or machine gun. Most people use machine guns in PvP that really know what they're doing, because you can get more kills with them. It's silly to sit there and use a dedicated launcher, which again goes into the whole Gjallarhorn. Why are you nerfing Gjallarhorn in PvP? Why are you nerfing Gjallarhorn in PvE? So we have 50% of the divide here being happy with the nerfs and 50% being upset. So pretty much what Bungie ended up doing was appeasing the side that were whining and pissing off the side that weren't. I mean, I think collectively everyone was in agreement that Thorn needs a nerf. I think collectively everyone was in agreement that auto rifles needed a buff. And I think collectively everyone everyone was in agreement that certain weapons and weapons that were just absolute garbage and trash needed upped a bit, helped out a bit. Like Scory's Revenge, it's outshined by so many pulse rifles. Even the Stranger's Rifle is slightly better than Scory's Revenge for many people. You know, the Hopscotch Pilgrim, everyone goes on about the Hopscotch Pilgrim, but Scory's Revenge, you know, it takes rank 5 in Iron Banner to buy it. Now, Hopscotch Pilgrim randomly drops. You go ahead and put them both on a scale and see which one is actually worth getting or not, and it kind of, you know, you kind of understand that the balance really isn't there, and you don't understand why this weapon over here is just absolute junk compared to this weapon. And so that's really what's been plaguing Destiny lately. So I just put my opinions and my thoughts out on it. I thought you guys would be interested, and this all combines together to make one giant conspiracy that Bungie doesn't want people to have Gjallarhorn overpowered before the patch, and that's why they removed it from Xur and all these nerfs and buffs. You need to go see the whole list of nerfs and buffs for yourself to understand exactly what's happening. But as for me, Guardians, I will see you next time in the field. Hopefully we can party up and destroy the next great threat to the universe. And now, the important decision of joining the Maverick Rebellion. We are a tight group of individuals who rebel against stereotypes and greater evils that are commonly accepted. ISPs, children being conned out of games, sexism in video games, enough is enough, and the Mavericks have had it. If you choose to subscribe or stay subscribed, you are joining the fight against injustice by watching my numerous video topics, from net neutrality to publishers covering up botched releases. The Mavericks are always informed on the issues plaguing your gaming experience today. So don't be left out in the cold, and don't let those people keep you down. Join the Maverick Rebellion today and become a member of the community that will listen and engage with you. What are you waiting for? Just click subscribe and you'll be in good company. Mavericks unite!